This episode of the Inside Running Podcast is brought to you by Blackroll, innovation leaders for simple but effective tools improving recovery, activation and sleep for better performance in sport and everyday life. All their running collection is available now at blackroll.com.au. Welcome to episode number 230 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Looking forward to talking running with my two co-hosts, which we do each week on this podcast. So if you're tuning in, thanks for giving us some of your time, and hopefully we can keep you company if you're out there running, especially for the next hour, 90 minutes. We'll see how we go. Welcome to my co-host down in Anglesea, Julian Spence. How are you going this week?
I'm going all right, mate.
That's good.
Not doing a lot of running, but I'm watching you guys. Actually, I'm not. I've just gone off Strava nearly totally, so I'm not even watching you guys do that.
I think you got to do it, don't you? When you're not running well yourself, you just got to start cutting things. Don't want to see it.
Well, I'm so busy too. Like, I don't really get a chance to scroll anymore. I used to spend a lot of time looking at Strava, and now I don't really do it at all.
Yeah.
I might go back, look at a few athletes that I coach, but I ain't just, like, what do they call it? Doom scroll. It is a bit of a doom scroll when you're injured on Strava, isn't
it? Yeah. Place to avoid, I think, if you don't want to be thinking about running training.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing.
How much you're missing. My other co-host up in Canberra, Bradley Croker. Welcome to this week's episode.
Thanks, Brady. How you going?
I'm going well, thank you. Can't complain. Just staying off air. 2 weeks until school holidays. Weather, it's a beautiful time of the year this time of the year, isn't it? Autumn.
Yeah, it's my favourite time of the year, especially here in Canberra. I reckon between now and late April, early May, it's like the mornings are cool, days aren't too hot. It's generally not very windy. So, it's a good time in Canberra.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you guys get that, probably not where you are, Croaks, because there's not too many farmers, I guess, near your place, but when people start burning off their paddocks and stuff, Moose, you kind of get that smell in the air, just a bit of that smoke drifting into town?
We don't, nah.
You don't get that either?
We're on the coast. We don't really have farms right next to us.
There's no farms near.
Well, there are farms, but I don't think that's a thing here. But we do get...
you know that autumn smell I'm talking about, though, don't you?
Down here is amazing because of the coastline. Often, and it's happened the last probably 2 weeks, is that the air temperature is colder than the ocean. And so you have this steam rising every morning off the ocean. I think that's why it happens, but it looks incredible. It's just the best time of the year. I'll say it again. Yeah. It's the best time of the year, flat out, but especially on the surf coast.
And for running. It's the best time of the year to do our sport.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I think because winter's coming, you just enjoy it a bit more.
Yeah. No wind.
No wind.
Cross-country season coming up.
Still all the time, isn't it? Yeah.
And you also come off all the hot days, so you get a cool morning and you feel $1,000,000 compared to your normal runs.
Yeah, we sure do. Gee, that's weather chat's got us up and about this week early, fellas, which is good. Who wants to go through their training week first? Probably you, Croaks, because you've done a bit more going by Strava than Moose.
Yeah, sure. So I had another pretty good week. Monday did an hour in the afternoon after work, 4:22s, and then Tuesday morning I did a session. So I did the hill session, except I did 2 sets of 8 hills this time, whereas 2 weeks before I did 2 sets of 7. The hills are just over 40 seconds in length. jog back in about 70 odd. And then after 8 reps, I take 3 minutes between the sets and then do another set. And I find the first rep of the second set always feels a bit garbage, just because you sort of just still got a little bit of that sort of, I guess, lactic or just a bit of junk in your legs from the first set. And then you sort of run that out and feel okay again. And like, I don't necessarily like hill sessions, but I think it's doing me a lot of good because it's almost like a gym session as well. I definitely noticed the last probably quarter of the session having to really focus on holding form, because I know that all of those muscles around like my glutes and my hips, and you're obviously having to recruit a hell of a lot more muscle fibers to get up the hill, are obviously starting to fatigue. So you just got to focus on that form. So going to keep doing the hills every second week. So that was Tuesday morning.
On our grading session, Croaks, where do you put this as a workout? B plus? A?
Yeah, no, it's like a B plus, A minus. Like, It's pretty hard just because of they're 40 odd seconds. And for me, I think this will probably get easier the stronger I get. Like at the moment, as I said, towards the end of the session, I've sort of that feeling when you've been doing a gym session where you know that your muscles are starting to fatigue a bit. Which I don't get on any other sessions that I do on the flat. So I think it's doing me some good, but it's definitely the hardest session that I do every fortnight. So that was, Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, just a lap of mulligans, 422s. And then Wednesday, I had the morning off because I was picking Viv and the kids up from the airport around lunchtime. So I didn't work on the Wednesday. So I got out for my 90 minutes in the morning, 410s for, 90 minutes. And then Thursday afternoon, my standard sort of 45 minutes, 4:16s, and then I did about five 20-second strides. Friday morning, did 7.5K on the treadmill. Must have had it on somewhere between like 12.5K and 13, so around 440s for that. And then that afternoon, I jumped on the treadmill again and did a 40-minute progression run. Which I was surprised. I did a progression run about 4 weeks before this, and I did 10 minutes at 3:45s, working down to, so I did 10 at 16K, 10 at 16.5, 10 at 17, and then I did about 3.5 minutes at 17.5, whereas this time around I did 10 at 16.5, 10 at 17, 10 at 17.5, and I still felt like pretty comfortable. So I did then 10 at 18K an hour. So
what's that got me wise, please?
It's on
Strava. Is this accurate? 3:38, 3:34, 3:29, 3:22.
Close, yeah. So like mid 3:30s for the first one, about 3:30 for the second, mid 3:20s for the third 10 minutes, and then 3:20s for the last 10. Yeah. So I end up averaging around just under 3:30s for 40 minutes. Felt pretty strong, pretty smooth.
What did Gert think?
Don't know. Well, yeah, it's not really one of their standard sessions, but I think I said a few weeks back that, I was going to alternate. So the Tuesdays are pretty much going to be hills every second week, and then the other track sessions will just be the 400s and the 1Ks. Every second week I'll do the 6-minute session on the treadmill or outside, which then leaves me one session that I sort of can mix. So that's what I did for this one. I might do fartlek another week or just a hilly tempo, something like that. But it felt good. I got through a fair bit of volume and it was still in that sort of comfortably hard zone. Then Saturday morning, hour, 4:19s at Mulligan's. Jumped on the treadmill again that afternoon for 35 minutes at 4:37s, and then 2 hours yesterday. So basically same loop I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. So 4:09s for a week of 148. So pretty much the same as what I've done the week before that. So another pretty solid week.
A strong week. There's a lot of strength in that week. Long tempo, hills, long runs, medium long runs.
Yeah, like the Tuesday was obviously probably the hardest session, and the rest, I guess the long run was a bit quicker than the last few weeks. So no, it's all tracking along pretty well. I'm umming and ahhing whether I have a bit of a down week at some point. Like the risk.
Are you racing that Wollongong thing this weekend?
No.
Is that next weekend?
No, I'm not going. So
pulled
the
out.
guy who was pacing's got COVID, and then I found out that Viv's got something on Saturday night, and then we've got like the Canberra Airport Open Day. We're doing that on the Sunday morning. So yeah, but I'll do something hard before Sydney 10 in the next few weeks. Either park run or I'll do like a hard lap around Mulligans on that 7K loop.
The Wollongong boys are going to be shattered about this, Croaks. They were getting pretty excited that you were going.
They already know.
They
I've already
know?
told them.
What was their reaction like?
No, they were all right. They understood.
Have you told Sam, the guy you're going head-to-head with? I don't think he knows yet.
I don't know Sam, but I've told the organisers. So anyway, thinking about having just a down week, because I've done this in the past where like you hit a certain volume and you like think, oh, more is better, or if I don't keep doing this amount of volume, like then I'm having like an off week. But I reckon, if I was to string together, say three weeks of 145-ish and then drop back and had a week of 120, it's probably what I need to do. So I'll either do it this week or I might hold off one more week and then have the down week when the Canberra Marathon weekend's on, because that's I'll be out sort of on the day doing stuff around there. So yeah, but body's good. All my sessions have progressed really well over the last month. Definitely fitter than I was a month ago. So yeah, it's good.
How many weeks till Sydney 10? Because you need a bit of data somewhere along here to see if it's working, don't you? But I can already see that in that progression run. I'm running. But is it working to get you in a 15-20 shape, or you in 14-50 shape? Like you need. Yeah, but the treadmill stuff can be dodgy as well.
Yeah, but it's the same treadmill. So it's the same treadmill.
Mate, treadmill is different. Treadmills.
No, but a lot
of people out there crushing workouts on treadmills don't do shit outdoors.
But I'm comparing my session from week. So if I'm doing a session on the treadmill and I'm running faster and running longer, then it means I'm getting fitter.
Yeah, but I just want to know, what does that fitter actually mean?
I don't know, but I think I'm moving pretty well.
Yeah, I think you are too. I think you're strong. I think you've got a lot of strength in there.
So
409 for 2 hours over hills.
I think it's 5 weeks till Sydney 10.
Yeah, you need a rust buster in between. Just a bit of a fitness check.
So I was thinking maybe going out and doing trying to get the Strava record back around the Mulligans loop.
Oh yeah.
That 7K, just do a hot lap around there. That would be a pretty solid effort.
That stacks up pretty well with your other opportunity at the stall gift. Two pretty high profile things.
Yeah.
A few comments here. A few people would have been really pissing you off, I reckon, with some of these comments on the Strava.
Nah.
John just went you every day, didn't he?
Yeah. But what they don't realise
someone offered their house up, 4-bedroom house in Horsham.
When people write that stuff in, it's like, what, they think by writing that I'm going to go? Like, if anything, I'm like...
I know, you would just be like, I'm never racing again.
You've even given me more reason not to go now.
Very good.
I had a few people write in actually and say that they wouldn't spend 18 hours in the car for a 4-minute race either.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I did.
That is some bullshit.
I'll send them through. To you.
Did you see the person that called him Bradley Choker, Moose?
Oh, that's good. Who was that? Send him his free T-shirt.
Someone on our Instagram. But then someone did fire back saying, how many times have you beaten him in a race?
How's our head-to-head record, Brady?
Irrelevant.
Who's choked more times?
Choked.
Gold Coast half.
Losing races is not choking.
What's that on our Instagram page?
You're in front of me
at
Albert Park. How far were you up the road at Albert Park 10 after 5K?
You understand what choking means, though, don't you, Brad? It doesn't mean not rock. It doesn't mean getting beaten in a race. It means not rocking up to a race because you think you're going to get beaten.
No, I reckon choking means that you run. You perform worse than what you think you should.
I've performed all right in those races.
That's what choking is.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good comment. Callahan Cotter, got to shout it out. good work. Bradley Choker. That is my new favourite forever.
Have you never heard? I've heard that. I've had that said to me so many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, Moose. Tell us about your week.
Oh, well, not much of a week. I think last week I went for a run for 20 minutes on the Monday. We talked about that. And then I pulled up okay after it. Like I still felt my knee a little bit. So I ran 25 minutes on the Tuesday. And afterwards, just what didn't feel great, sort of got catchy in that same spot again. And I just lost a lot of interest and motivation to run while I was sore. So yeah, I just decided again, let's not run until you're feeling better. So I went back to the gym. I did all the physio this week that I needed to do. Went to Keezer. You were right, Brady. Keezer. You're right about that.
That's how I pronounced it, didn't I?
Yeah, Keezer? Got that right, actually.
And then did I get told I got it wrong and go with
I think
Kaiser?
I said it was Kaiser. I think I said it. Anyway.
But
yeah, no, and then I've been doing some paddling. So the other day, everyone loves a paddling story, don't they, Bradley? Got out real early. It was really foggy. So I paddled off the beach, and then within probably 30 seconds, I look back, can't see the beach anymore. And so I'm just out in the ocean, and I was trying to gauge where I was based off the reefs, but it was quite high tide, so there wasn't much, there weren't many waves hitting the reefs. And so I was just paddling around for a while, trying to just mess around on a few waves, and then by the time I got that, I went and looked back where I was, and I couldn't see anything, so I paddled in a bit. Then I saw the surf club tower. It was the only thing I could see, and that's probably 500 meters from where I actually thought I was. So yeah, don't worry about understanding how good of a story that was, but that was a good story.
Will beach people understand that? Because I have no idea what you were just talking about.
I was just out in the water, and then I just lost all my bearings.
Did you get a bit scared?
No, it just surprised me, and it sort of shows that you could be as a boater, it would be dangerous if you didn't know where you were, because I thought I was in a totally different spot. I was only 400 meters off the beach, and I fully lost where I was. But no, I've been enjoying the paddling. It feels nice to get out there. The water's cooling down a bit, so you get a bit of blue doctor from it, get a bit of orange doctor when the sun comes up, and I get I don't get a lot of fitness from it, but I get to be active still and be in nature. So it's a nice feeling to get something done before breakfast. I have trouble getting on a spin bike before breakfast. That just doesn't do it for me. I need to enjoy what I'm doing first thing in the morning, and I really enjoy running, obviously, but I also enjoy paddling. But I don't enjoy spin bike. I don't enjoy the gym. I don't enjoy elliptical. So at the moment, I'm just doing what I like, and the business is just it's so fun. In there, I feel like a young boy again. Get to work and just energy all day. From the minute you get there, and then your doors shut at the end, and you're you're just spent because you've exhausted all your energy on the day, and it's productive. It's you see progression, you're seeing improvement in the staff around you, you're giving people a good experience, and you're seeing the business improve. And it's nice to it's kind of like running, in that all the effort you put in, you see results on the other side. That's what a small business can be like.
Especially if you own it.
Well, yeah,
exactly. You got that ownership over everything. As I said, with running, when you have a good race, 99 or 90% of it's because of you.
You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And that's what we love about running, isn't it? That's what we love about endurance sport and individual sports, I suppose, to a degree. There's not a lot of luck involved in running. There are individual sports where there's a bit of luck involved, but not running, not cycling. But cycling can be a team thing though as well. So running is just pure individual.
So will you start running soon?
Not the way my knee's feeling. So yeah,
Is that good? And I know you have stuff to distract you at the moment, but yeah,
it's not good great. For running. It's not great. It's my injured knee. It's the knee I had the surgery on, and there's some certain familiar feels with it. So I've got Ali to write me an MRI, but I just want to give it a couple more weeks, or the strength work. In order to get benefit, it takes 6 to 8 weeks. So I have to be patient with that. I'm doing the right things for it. I've kind of I have this goal of running at Gels Park. That's kind of my goal. My goal right now is to get back to that. But and that's why I don't want to rush it right now. I want to make sure.
Or something, isn't it? It's about 5 weeks.
It's not very. It's a long way away. And I mean, even if I'm not fit, I'll still want to get there. But I want to do the cross country season, so that's my goal, to do the cross country season.
So Brady, you're flying the flag at Stall.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Oh, mate, I'm not good at
You giving up on that dream yet? You still might make it. It's still a month away, isn't it? A month today. Easter Monday.
I would be disrespecting Herb Hedeman if I showed up and ran the Herb Hedeman mile. Come on. That would be disrespectful.
Have you actually pulled out yet?
No.
Just see what they give you for a handicap. Don't pull out yet. And just
I don't think I should. I think you got to respect the other competitors. You got to respect the event. Don't rock up the stall and run it fat. Like, that's unfit, no good. That's not on.
Well, I didn't mean to run it. I just meant leave your name in the entries, so it'd be interesting to see where they would have handicapped you.
Oh.
That's what I want to know.
Well, why don't you just ask them?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Well, when they send out the handicaps, I filled out the thing today. Actually, the thing for the TV station. You know, like the facts about yourself.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
Did you just? No, he just sent that in himself, Crooks.
It's on their
There's
Facebook,
no form.
It's on their Facebook page. It says if you're
just
competing,
sent a private message.
if you're competing in these events, fill out this form. The ones
Brady's
on
like,
TV.
I'm only competing if you mention this on TV.
Now, guys, my name's Brady. It's pronounced
Trowful. The H isn't there.
One day
I'm a big deal in a Chukamoama.
I've got some news about Chukamoama coming up soon.
Kia or Chuka.
That would go down.
Brady, tell us about your week. Enough paddling talk, enough small business talk.
Yeah, let's get over to running chat. So, listeners, if you've skipped to 22 minutes, this is when we start talking about my week. 60 minutes, Monday morning, 4:35s. In the afternoon, got out for 30 minutes, did my first aid course at school. Done one of those recently, Croaks?
Yeah, end of last year.
Yeah, did one of those after school, so I got out a bit later for my 30-minute second run. Tell you what, after you have kids and you do that course, it's completely different, isn't it? Looking at like the little what are they called? Not mannequins. You know, like the baby toddler ones?
Yeah.
You just look at them completely different. You're like, oh, you're the same size as Hudson, this little thing. That freaked me out a bit when I walked in there to do that. Tuesday, 6 by a mile off 90 seconds jog. Hit the first two in 5:03, which is about 3:08 pace. Second two in 5:01, which is pretty similar pace. Fifth one in the 3:04 pace, 4:55 for the mile. And then the last one, I just gave it a bit of a squirt, just finished on a straight road. So I knew my GPS data would be pretty accurate. Didn't look at my watch at all while I did the last mile. Just had it set up in my watch to beep every mile. So hit the last one in 4:45, which is like 2:58k pace. And I was like, oh, that's good, because it wasn't like I sprinted a mile. It was still felt like I was running, I was running hard and running fast and wanted to see what was going to come out, but at the same time wasn't all out. So that's the first time I've done a workout in a while where I've just been able to let it flow out. Like I haven't been forcing stuff the last couple of months and just been working on being disciplined in training. And this time I was kind of ready to go and I just wanted to see what was there. So kind of just, I guess I ditched the discipline a bit for that last rep because my plan was to hit him in close to that 5:05 kind of pace. So that was good. Bit of a sign of fitness. 30 minutes in the afternoon there at 4:37s. Wednesday, recovery day, 60 minutes in the morning, 4:38s, 30 minutes in the afternoon, just along the river at 4:34s. Thursday, medium long run. Got out for an hour and 45 at 4:12s and 30 minutes in the afternoon at 4:31s. So that was a pretty big mileage day, like getting close to 32k for the Thursday. And then Thursday night, had a shocking night's sleep. Hudson was up like 3 times. And I had my fartlek planned for Friday morning. And it was one of those ones like, I think I went to bed about 9ish and he woke up at 11:30. And when I got up with him that time, I was like, no, I'm not doing monofartlek tomorrow morning. I'm just going to do 18 minutes of it because I thought lack of sleep. I'll just cut 2 minutes off it. And then I think he woke back up again at like 1 a.m. And that time when I got up with him, I'm like, 15 minutes monofartlek. I'm taking a few more minutes off it because it's affecting my sleep. And then I think he was up again at 3 a.m. And I thought, I'm just going to do like a 10-minute monofartlek, the first 10 minutes, and then call it a day because I didn't want the stress of a workout off the back of not having a lot of sleep. But then when I started the workout, I felt all right. I felt good in the warm-up and then went really conservative, which is something different for me in monofartlek because usually I kind of, whenever I do it, I want to see what kind of shape I'm in. So I give it a bit of a squirt. But I was working on the theory of doing the ons at 3-minute pace and the floats at 3:30 pace. And it was good getting to like 10, 12 minutes in and not being like pretty gassed. And then I just found like I was full of running that last kind of 7 or 8 minutes. Got back further than where I started and ended up doing the whole fartlek, 3:10 average, 6.3 Ks for the 20 minutes. And it felt good. But then I was so tired during the day. Like, I don't know what you guys are like with broken sleep, but I'm shocking. Just hits me for 6. I just can't think straight. But anyway, that's me.
You're getting older now.
Hey?
Getting older.
Getting older, yeah, mate. It's like it's that hungover feeling, isn't it? Like you just, it's just yuck. Afternoon, got out for 30 minutes at 4:29. Pretty happy that was Friday afternoon, end of the work week there. Saturday, just 65 minutes at 4:31s to recover off the back of that workout. And then Sunday, I was solo again, 2 hours 15, just put the headphones in, listen to music for a couple of hours. 32.6K, 4:09. Boring, but a bit easier than last week. It wasn't as hot, so a bit slower, a couple of seconds per K slower, but I never look at the pace when I do the long run. I just go off stopwatch face. So, it was a good week. I hit 163K, third week back at 160. Run for the kids this weekend, so looking forward to getting down to Melbourne and doing that one, 14K. Have you seen the course recently, Moose?
It's going to come down through like...
It's kind of like backwards.
North Melbourne, right?
No, so that was the newer course. That was the course I think they did previously before they had the 2 years off. But now it starts at like Docklands, Marvel Stadium there. You pretty much run backwards towards where you used to come off the Balti Bridge. Remember the old course?
Yeah.
You go over the Balti, like backwards.
And
then you go left onto the West Gate.
Yeah.
Go through the tunnel backwards of how you used to do it. Get spat out there near where Collingwood train, like the Holden Centre there, the old Olympic Park. Then kind of do a bit down near the Shrine. Don't go all the way up to the Shrine, but kind of like that quarter, where the half marathon turns for Melbourne Marathon and the marathon keeps going up the hill. Yeah, turn right there to head down towards South Bank, through South Bank, back over past like Crown Casino, I think, and the Aquarium. And then you finish near like Spencer Street Station there, back near Docklands.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good course.
I like having the hill early too. Like, you get moving.
Good for you.
Good for me. Good for me. Yeah. So get that out of the way, and then it should be relatively like flat. That last hill will be a bit of a kicker, but you're so close to home there. So yeah, it should be. I'm really looking forward to just running on those streets. I was talking to my boss today at work, and he's like, "What? They close the roads for it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is like, and one of the biggest races, I suppose, where they close major roads and bridges like that." So
it's a great race, and
amazing.
Normally the top three, except for the EU, came third. Very solid.
Yeah. Do you think I was thinking about this today. It's probably not on par with City to Surf. I think City to Surf is stronger.
It's not. No, it is.
Maybe towards the end when like City to Surf wasn't as strong last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the strong years at Run for the Kids have been they're stronger than the weak years at City to Surf.
But then I would also say Run for the Kids. Would it be as strong as an AV race, Athletics Victoria round? That's not
it
say.
Probably would be.
I reckon it'd be on par.
It'd be as strong as the 10 miler.
The 15K around Ballarat.
You don't get everyone do the 10 mile. No, there used to be the Brimbank race.
Yeah, it's not on there anymore. The 10 mile. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Clashes with nationals this year, so there might be a few less.
Nah, but there's no 5K
games.
Nationals, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, is there 5K Nationals?
5K's on Saturday. Yeah.
Have we already had a 5K Australian champs?
No.
That was 3K at Sydney track, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so there's a 5K Saturday night.
Okay, that might take a few out. Liam Adams usually does it. He's won it a handful of times. I won't be winning it anyway. I'll be. I think I'll run like 3:10 pace, somewhere around there.
Didn't think about cutting your long run back a little bit week before.
Nah, I'm just using it. This is all for Calli. This thing. She wanted to go down and do this race, and I'm just looking after Olivia while she does her race, and I just happen to go for a run before her race starts. This is her big comeback race, boys. First race post second baby. So
what? That means you're not going to run hard.
It's all about her. I might not even get there, Might have a bad morning with the baby and then just, not be able to get to the start line.
Who's looking after the baby?
Well, when I race, Calli will look after the baby, but then she's going to do the 5K after I finish, and then I'll look after the baby.
is that possible, is it?
Just, like, I'll literally come across the line and take the baby, and then she'll go to the start line of the 5K.
Interesting. There you go.
Unless I'm trying to rope Thackery into coming down the finish line and just taking the baby so I can do a cool down.
Mate, don't want to give him
It's his birthday, I think, as well.
That.
He'll be probably hammered from his birthday celebrations the night before.
You ever seen him with a child?
No.
He's probably not allowed near children still.
I'm sure it would be. So that will be an interesting weekend. I'm looking forward to getting down there. And I'm going to go to the track in Shepparton tomorrow just to start doing a bit of track work to prepare for stall. And a bit of news, boys, about the bridge chat from last week. Remember that? I was telling you guys how Chukamoama's getting a new bridge.
No. The interesting bit.
Yeah, Muzz has written in, and he is an engineer. So him and his mate Matt, they both written in talking about how they get what are those pylons called, into the water. Yeah. And Muzz has sent through a couple of examples of that, that old Golden Gate Bridge over in America, the red one?
Yeah. San Fran.
Yeah, well, that's in the water. Like, that's fallen in the ocean. So he reckons they make these massive things. Like, he did have a name for him. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I'm obviously not an engineer. So this information I'm trying to pass on here might be a bit sketchy. They make these massive, like, things, like containers on the land. And then they drop them into the water. And then once they get them into the water, they, like, air pressurize them to take out all the water. And then
air pressurize.
Well, maybe not air pressurize.
You mean they pump the water out of it? Like, I don't get it.
They pump the water out of them. Yeah, that's it. They pump the water out of it, so then when they put the pillar in, it goes into it dry.
That must be some big containers.
Big job. Yeah, big job.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video we could watch on this.
Yeah, but it still doesn't answer the question about how do they do it. Like, our one is not going into the water. So, yeah. The chambers,
you could probably just stick to running talk and
normally
training sessions.
It's like a waterproof chamber that they fill with concrete all the way down to the bedrock, so they can be massive structures.
What about the people that you said were dying in their tube?
Oh, yeah, that was true as well. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
A lot of truth in that story as well. I'm still getting to the bottom of that one because I heard it was gang related. Like, if you wanted to join the local gang, you had to jump off the bridge. But I don't know if that's true or not. I'll get my sources to come back to me.
You got some gangs in Moama.
No, this is back in the 70s and 80s and stuff.
Oh, there's a chapter of the Crips up there, was there?
Something like that, I think. But then they were losing too many members because that was their like initiation thing to jump off the local bridge.
Oh, God.
I'll see if I can fill that in next week. But that's and the other thing about the bridge is we got this thing in our letterbox yesterday, and when they open it up, they're going to let pedestrians go over it for the first 2 hours before they let any traffic go over it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just be lining up there. Like, the minute they open that bridge, I'll be warmed up, ready to go, racing flats, probably in like Alpha Flyers or Vapor Flyers or something, and just start me watch and just fang it like 3K across the bridge to say I'm the first over it.
The bridge is 3K long?
Oh, yeah, massive, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it'd be 3K from
the
point
Murray
to point.
River's like...
Oh, yeah, but it's going back. It's going from like the middle of Moama to the middle of Chuka. It's going over a lot of bushland and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a big bridge. The Murray River's only like, I don't know, 70 metres. Yeah. But it'd be a good 2 or 3K. It's got to actually cross...
waste of our money, Croaks.
It's got to cross the Campaspe River as well. 2 rivers. So, yeah.
Episode 230, is this like an all-time low, talking about a bridge in Echuca Moama?
Mate, this is better than hearing about you pulling out of races.
Why do you need that in Echuca Moama? Surely the normal bridge is fine. You guys aren't like there's not a lot of you.
Oh, no, but population, like tourism season and stuff. And also, I think because like the hospital and fire brigade, we've got a fire brigade both sides. But once there's a car accident on there, like you can't get out, like ambulances and stuff can't come over. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really puts the whole town at gridlock as well.
Yeah.
Too many resources.
Do you have a ferry?
They've got the old punts, like you used to like go on a punt and then the punt would take you over and you get off on the other side. Got paddle steamers, maybe they could get people across. Anyway, you've got to move on, fellas. I know you guys love talking about Echuca Moama, but it's time to move on to thanking some Patreon supporters. Actually, do you guys know anyone who's racing Run for the Kids? Any names?
No idea.
Moose, you know anyone?
I had a couple that bailed. Had a couple who nailed you, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. I love that. There's these stories about people nailing people that then never rock up the start lines.
It's not hard to nail you, though.
If you're not in the arena, don't go throwing a lip. That's what I reckon.
Could be anyone.
Dave Ridley's running. He'll beat me. He's pretty fit at the moment. He's pretty fit and strong. Old enemy from Hobart, half marathon. See if I can snag him. Anyway, thanks on Patreon supporters. Croaks, who you got?
I got Cyril Dixon this week. Cyril lives in North Warrandyte. I hope I pronounced that right. Seems to do a lot of bike going by his Strava, possibly a fan of Collingwood Football Club and donuts. Maybe did the London Marathon in 2019 in 4:20. Not many results from him, but seems to always do the run for the Fireys and could be the previous global director of Movember. So thanks for your support, Cyril.
If that's true, one of the most impressive titles we've had from Patreon supporters.
Global director, that's big time.
That's real big time.
I got Jake Massey. Jake is from Alford in the UK. He's run 18:12 for 5K, 38:59 10K, and a 1:29 half marathon estimated best on Strava. So they're not official PBs. Hard to find much on him, apparently, Brady.
It was.
Owns a pair of Hockers, has a beard. That's all we got so far. Maybe coming off a bit of a hamstring niggle and building back up after doing some bike riding.
Is it Hokers or Hockers? You'd know, you're the man.
Mate,
what is it? I've never had a pair of these shoes. Brad, have you ever had a pair?
No, never run in them.
Neither have I. People seem to love them though.
It used to be called Hoka One, which is a Maori word, right? They've got rid of the One bit, so now I just keep calling it Hoka, but there are a lot of people that call it Hoka, and I might be wrong. This is one that I'm not 100% on.
Why did they get rid of the One bit?
Oh, I think it just they're a big brand now, mainstream.
Were they New Zealand originally?
No, they weren't. They were two guys from Solomon who created the brand, and they're owned by Decca Sports, which is a massive company in the US now. So they're a big brand, and they're grow so quickly, and they're still growing very quickly. But I think they dropped the One bit in terms of being more commercial. So Hoka is a lot easier than Hoka One as a brand name. Anyway.
Interesting. Alex Chatter, I'm going to thank you from Ashstead in England, United Kingdom. 18:10 for 5K, 38:40 for 10K, 1:26 for the half marathon at the Surrey half marathon a few weeks ago. Which one are you picking there, Moose?
Well, I'm going to go one.
Pretty even.
5K, I think. 18:12, 5K.
18 minutes.
He's a fast man. He's a fast switch mover, Jake.
Alex, you mean?
We went. No, I was talking. Oh, wait, they're very similar.
Look at their PBs. They're very similar.
You said that, and I instantly looked at Jake. Okay, so let's revisit.
2 seconds between them over the 5, 19 seconds over the 10, 3 minutes over the half.
1:26, I think. 1:26.
That's what you got, Alex. Strava skyscrapers from Alex, been a bit up and down. Few injuries, I think, but looks like he's starting to string it together now. Thanks for your support, Cyril, Jake, Alex of the Inside Running Podcast, all the other legendary Patreon supporters over there that support the Inside Running Podcast coming out every week. 3 different levels you can support us at. So, if this show brings you minimum of $5, $5 a month value, you can support us on the Inside Running Podcast Patreon page. $5 a month, fellas, nothing. What do you spend $5 a month on? $5 a month. What's that? 4 2-hour shows, a Shoe Geeks app.
That's $60 a year.
You can't tell me that 10 hours worth of this content is not worth $5. It's not worth one takeaway coffee.
Depends how you're performing.
Well, I'm the only one performing.
I mean, Brad and I would sign up for, no doubt.
My gags are definitely worth $5 a month, I reckon.
Please. Have you actually said anything funny in 230 episodes?
Yeah, I say heaps of funny stuff. I'm the funniest guy on this show for sure. $5, eh? $5. Give me something that costs $5 and compare it to 10 hours of value of the Inside Running Podcast.
What's Spotify membership? What's that per month?
Spotify membership's actually pretty good value for money, I reckon, isn't it? The amount you use that. I think that's 12, isn't it? Do you know how much a beer is these days? Beers are $12 a schooner.
Wait, where? A Chuka Bowling Club?
No, that was at that place I put the footy tips on the other day. That'd be better than that at Bowling Club.
You don't get much for $5.
You don't.
Do you?
There's not a lot. Even a coffee's $5 now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You could support 10 hours of podcast content coming out.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Running news, boys. Box Hill Classic. Go there first. There was a 1500 and a 3K at Box Hill. Geez, they do a good job putting on events. Box
Good
Hill.
Races. Yeah.
Don't they?
Good races.
It feels like every third week we're talking about a race that was at Box Hill.
I think Steve Deneen actually has a lot to do with that.
I think he does as well.
Yeah.
And hats off to guys like a guy like Tim Crosby, who does the commentary of that whole event by himself for the whole night. Like, that's not easy to do. And he knows the names and stuff. So, the people that put on the live stream. Rosie Donegan.
Yeah, you're already in Division 1. You're already there.
Oh, yeah, Tim Crosby also works for Athletics Victoria. So, yeah. You're correct, Moose. Rosie Donegan got the win in the 3K. She ran 9:33.4. Seth O'Donnell won the men's 3K, 8:04.9. Men's 3K deeper than the women's. Seth, a bit of a runaway leader. He's done this a bit, hasn't he? Moose, Seth?
Yeah, straight off the front.
Straight off the front. His pacemakers got him through the first K, and then he went the rest of the way.
He what do you call it? Dances to the beat of his own drum.
Very much so.
Yep. He got his own plans and he went out and did it. And impressive, like solid, strong runner. Got a bit of Harry Summers about him, like just does what he wants.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to really care who else is around or what's going on. Just goes out and attacks it.
And doesn't put any limitations on themselves. And
reasonably new to the sport. Like, I remember racing him in May last year, so less than 12 months ago, cross country, and I didn't know who he was. And I remember talking to you guys about, do you know who this guy with the mullet is? And I think, Moose, maybe you'd heard of him. But he's gone from being like someone we don't really know to winning a 3K in 8:04. Like, still needs to improve to take that next step. But he's on the right
pretty
path.
much solo though, or very close to solo. Didn't get a lot of help. Like, it had a little bit of help, but not a great amount of help.
The thing worked out all right in his favour, I think, was he knew people were closed on him too, like Cody Shanahan and those guys were coming, which would have kept him pretty honest in those last couple of laps. But hats off to him racing like that. Hey?
Yeah. Hard way to run it.
1500 was, I think the 1500 men's was run of the night. This was a pretty interesting race. A lot of them at the bell. Callum Davies from Queensland got the win, 3:41.7. Jude Thomas from Queensland was second, 3:42.4. Matthew Hussey third, 3:42.6. Impressive from Callum Davies because he put a kick on top of the kick. Did you see this, anyone? Footage?
Kick on top of a kick.
He kicked away out the back straight, and then at 150,
I missed this,
120, he put another kick in, and then you're like, oh, he's put him away here. He's going to win this, won by nearly a second, but put it all into him in the last kind of 150. He was good. He's the guy that used to wear the hat all the time, but now he's got the headband.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Queensland, always in the Queensland top.
Yep, Georgia Griffith, she put a huge kick as well into this race. She was with Calli Thackery with, I'm going to say 300 metres, 250 to go, and she beat her by 6 seconds. Calli Thackery probably more known for her longer distance stuff, but Georgia ran 4:13. Calli was second in 4:19, and Madison Caulfield was third in 4:27. So kind of wrapping up at Box Hill, I think that's it for them for the year. People heading towards Nationals. So there's a 5K at Nationals, Croaks. Who's running that? Because we spoke last week about the Americans coming back. But are they all in the 15? Jess Hull and Ollie Hoare.
Yeah, Ollie's in the 15.
We've got start lists.
Yeah, they're on the Athletics website, Athletics Australia website.
When we talk about what's coming up at the end, let's just quickly have a chat about that stuff.
Yeah.
Only other bit of news I had this week, fellas, was I was on the Let's Run today, and they were talking about Mo Farah making a comeback in May as he races Vitality London 10,000 metres against Stewart McSweyn and Andrew Butchart. Now, I think this is a road race, isn't it? Vitality London? Not sure why they're calling it 10,000 metres. They should be calling it 10K if it's on the road. But I was interested when I saw Stewie's name. I'm like, oh, this is good. Stewie hopefully is feeling better, and we might see him on the roads against Mo Farah in May. Know anything?
Yeah. Wonder how he goes. What's he been doing?
And this could have been pre the issues with COVID or the vaccine or whatever they're with, the booster. So I'm not sure if there's anything in this, but I just saw it sitting there today on the website and thought I'd bring it up to talk about.
So, yeah, I got no idea. No idea.
Get your post on that one. Any other news? That's all I had. Pretty low news week because we're going into the national champs this weekend.
Did we get any? Yeah, is there any news? I'm just thinking if I've seen anything. Didn't you have something that you're going to tell us?
Oh, a couple of whispers. Yeah, I did hear a few whispers this week, actually. Following on with our conversation about, remember, was it 2 weeks ago we were talking about who's going to be in what spots for the Com Games and World Champs?
Oh, no, that's not the whispers I was talking
Brady's
about.
whispers of the week. I'm hearing big whispers that potentially Newcastle Marathon in a couple of weeks. Women.
Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle's got a new marathon course, four laps.
In Australia?
Yeah, Newcastle, Sydney, 4 laps, 10.5k around, flat, no hills in the lap at all. And I'm hearing whispers that Marnie Ponton and Sarah Klein are going to have a go at the qualifying time.
So this is set up for elites only, or this will be a...
No, it's a legit marathon. They got the Newey half marathon's pretty hilly, but they've set up a new marathon course this year.
Has that been an event for a while, the half marathon?
Half marathon, yeah. I've coached athletes who have done the half before, and it's over a pretty hilly. Is there a mountain or a hill or something in Newcastle, Brad?
Yeah, there's a hill. Yeah.
So these whispers are coming to me, like, not sure how accurate they are, but I think that this one I wouldn't bring it up on air if I didn't think it had some credibility to it. Another whisper that come in talking about Lisa Weightman as well a couple of weeks ago. What would she potentially do? My whispers are telling me, and I'm not sure if my sources are correct with this one, less confident, that potentially she's going to go for Com Games but work on the discretion call. So not have a time on the board, but obviously silver medal last Com Games, it
makes sense for her to do that.
Top 30 at the Olympics. Like, yes, she hasn't got a time on the board recently, but so another, and it gets, when you start having selection policies that have discretion written on it, it gets messy. Like, it's not as black and white as the World Champs one that has a time written on it. So, yeah.
What you'll have to do is you'll have to read in detail the policy. So are they selecting on who they think we're going to medal? Are they going to use it more on giving experience to up-and-coming athletes? Like, I haven't actually read the criteria, but there has to be some protocol or some guidelines for the discretionary selections. It can't just be discretionary full stop. It's like you've got to have some sort of
discretion following these kind of guidelines or goals.
Yeah. I think where the issue might be for Lisa would be if the girls who have qualified for World Champs that have obviously posted a time recently, if they didn't want to do World Champs and wanted to do Com Games, it'd be very hard to choose, I think, Lisa over people that have already got the time on the board during the qualification period.
Yeah, but why would it be hard if she says, yeah, but I've come second at this championships before and I've come top 30 at the Olympics recently?
Yeah, but I guess the others have at least...
And if she goes punches a fast half marathon somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs to do that.
She'd have to post something. It'll obviously make it easier for her if, the girls who run the quickest time during the qualification period all choose to do the World Champs. That then leaves 3 spots for the... I guess, so who are the top 3 at the moment? It would be Eloise,
Jess,
Sinead, or Jess.
Jess is faster than Sinead in this period.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Millie Clark, didn't she run one?
Millie Clark, Sinead.
Yeah.
Would be the fastest 4.
And so then you've got the potentials of Lisa to run one.
Well, I think the whispers I'm hearing is that she's not going to run.
That she won't run one.
But then you have potentials of Marnie and Sarah Klein also putting down a time.
So the problem
That's a big jump, though. That's a big jump.
Well, I think they've got to have a crack at it, though. Yeah, I think they've got to have a crack at it.
If you had Eloise, Jess, and Millie, because Millie ran pretty well at the Olympics, didn't she?
Back in 2016.
Yeah, so like if all
top 20, didn't she?
If 3 of those, if those 3 said I want to run Com Games and they've posted times in the period, it'd be very hard to then just get in on discretion, because Jess and Lisa are equal on PBs to the second, but Jess has done hers in the recent period.
They could argue the discretion though that Jess has been injured, couldn't they?
Yeah, well, Jess would have to
post a time as well.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I guess I'm glad I'm not a selector.
Can you imagine it? It'd be shocking.
Yeah.
And it's not too bad if people have the time and then you can say, look, you're not going to Com Games, but we're sending you to World Champs. But that might, if people don't have the time for World Champs and then they say we're not sending you to Com Games, that's where it gets messy.
Mm. And it sounds like, from what I've heard from a few of the females, is
Brad's whispers.
Well, no, just that they would prefer to run Com Games than World Champs, just because of the environment of, it's a bit more like that Olympic feel with a village that you don't get at a World Championships.
I've been thinking about this as well. Can you imagine this? You, potentially all those girls we just spoke about could medal at the Com Games quite easily. Wouldn't surprise me. You medal at a Com Games, you then pretty, not recognisable, but you're in the Australian public. A lot of people know that Com Games win. There's a lot more hype. The same effort and performance level could go into the World Championships, and you could come 20th, 18th, 15th.
Or even top 10.
Maybe top 10. Maybe you'd scrape in the top 10. But that performance would not get anywhere near the amount of hype. No one would know it other than running nerds.
It would in the athletics world.
It wouldn't in the athletics world.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be in the papers.
To be fair, I don't think the Commonwealth Games, you'd
be on the back of Weet-Bix boxes if you did that at the Com Games.
Yeah, but you don't
Well, no, you wouldn't.
It's changed. Look at Michael Shelley. It's changed in terms of how much you're the pin-up person if you win a Commonwealth Games medal.
That's potentially got a bit to do with his personality as well, though.
Yeah, but we'll look at Lisa. Lisa's won how many? Or even Lisa and Jess have won multiple Commonwealth Games medals.
Jess is a pretty big name amongst the Australian sporting.
Yeah, but she's not on a cereal box.
She could be if she wanted to be, I reckon.
But it has changed from the days of
put it this way, though, Crocs. Put it this way. Let's say Sinead goes to World Champs, comes 12th. Amazing performance. Stacks up pretty well with her 10th at the Olympics. No one outside the running community really knows about it. Jess goes to Com Games, maybe runs third, but the performance, you go, third at Com Games probably doesn't stack up that well with 12th at the World Champs. Jess is the superstar. No one in the public knows who Sinead is.
Well, yeah, they do.
They do, but
I actually think it was she got a lot of fame from that run.
Top 10 but the Olympics is different than World Champs.
It is, yeah.
The flip side would be I think Jess may have said this though, that the appeal to running World Champs is often, you're probably going to get the best of the best there, so you get to challenge yourself, against the best, whereas the Commonwealth Games is probably not quite as deep. I guess we're in an advantage now where it doesn't matter which three women we send to the Com Games marathon, there's going to be some good competition amongst them. And they've obviously got a few Africans there as well. But obviously the World Champs is probably going to be deeper.
Anyway, watch this space.
Blackroll shared the vision to establish best practice fascial training, common pain treatment, and recovery strategies relevant for sports, human performance, corporate and medical applications. Due to different fascia training tools and methods, their products and services are relevant across all fitness levels and life situations. Based on the involvement with scientific research, Blackroll is an innovation leader in the field of fascial training and education. Blackroll products are lightweight, durable, and optimised for best effect and practicality during everyday use, enabling people to take their well-being and performance into their own hands on a daily basis. The products are made in Germany with 100% recyclable materials, and the production process is optimised towards energy efficiency and sustainability. For more information on Blackroll and their range, head to www.blackroll.com.au. To score yourself a discount on any purchases from the running collection on Blackroll's website, use the code INSIDE20 for 20% off at checkout.
Training talk, Croaks. Missed this last week. Want to tell us something this week?
So I'm going to talk about the reverse pyramid, and I'll give an example of one of the sessions that I've done a few times. So reverse pyramid is where you start off with the longer reps, work down to shorter reps, and then work your way back up to longer reps. So one that I've done is a 1200 meter rep, an 800, a 600, a 400, a 400, a 600, 800, and a 1200. The recoveries, I've sort of alternated between either 60, the fitter I get, the shorter the recoveries. First time I took 90 seconds between each rep. Then the next time I took 60 seconds. The goal for me for this session is always to run the second rep faster than the first. So I want my last 1200 to be faster than my first, my second 400 to be faster than the first 400 that I run. What I like about this one is you sort of work through the gears on the way down, but then on the way up, the pace obviously then starts to get slower than what you've run, but you've also put a little bit of fatigue in your legs from those quicker reps. So you have to try and run relaxed on heavy legs, plus you have the mental strain of the reps getting longer.
Can you just give me the structure of the workout so that I can follow along better? Like, what do you
mean?
Tell me how I might...
Yeah. I said the session was a 1200, 800, 600, 400, 400, 600, 800, 1200. And I said...
How was I supposed to remember that?
It's not that hard, is it? I can't write it down for you and send you a post-it note. We're on the radio.
You're making it complicated.
Anyway, can you say it again, Croaks? What was it?
1200, 8, 6, 4, 4, 6, 8, 12.
Oh, so it's almost goes up like a pyramid then down again.
Well, it's a reverse pyramid.
Yeah.
And so I generally...
Like a V.
Yeah. So
start longer, get shorter, then you go up again.
So as the reps get shorter, the pace gets quicker. And so I generally work off, say the 1200 will be, for me, somewhere between 10K and 10 mile pace, the 800 around 10K pace, the 600 at 5K pace, and the 400 at about 3K pace. And so I generally decrease each rep by about 2 seconds 2 to 2.5 seconds per lap on the track. So you guys have never done a session like this before?
No, mate, I can't running lane 1 on our track, so we can only do 400 metre reps.
This is a bit hard. This is a bit complicated.
I do it on the road and go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. Yeah. That's a good one. Blue collar road workouts.
What I find happens with this one is you work through the gears on the way down. So like every rep gets a little bit faster, but then at the bottom, you've done 2 400s at close to 3K pace. So you put a little bit of lactic into your legs, and then on the way up, you have to start running slower again, but you've got fatigue in your legs. So, you build some strength there. So anyway, plus also mentally, when you've done some 400 meter reps and then you start to build back up and you do a 600, 800, 1200, there's a bit of mental toughness there as the reps get longer as well.
Teaches you some discipline about not blowing the doors off early.
Yeah, and so for me, the main thing, as I said before, was that you want the second rep to be faster than the first. You want your last 1200 to be faster than the first 1200. You don't want to blow yourself up on the way down and then not be able to do run times on the way up.
I actually think it's smarter to just try and match it. Don't try run faster.
Yeah, but the goal is you don't want to go slower. You want to be slower in the second half. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And you should almost do those last couple feeling like you got the brakes on a bit. Like you can go fast if you want. You could go much faster, but you just lock them back into that.
Well, see, that's how you think it should feel. But the fact that you've run some quicker reps halfway through the session, if you're only having a minute recovery, you actually still have a little bit of lactic in your legs. And so you have that sort of it. You have that sort of wobbly feeling a little bit, especially at around the 600 and 800 meter rep on the way back up.
Yeah,
anyway, you need to go and give it a go.
Yeah, well, I can only do it on the road because we don't have that track access for.
You can do it in minutes and time.
Yeah, though. I like doing it. I call it change pace fartlek. So you start longer, move down.
Yeah, these ones are off these ones are off
it's standing. A good name for it.
This is like standing recovery though.
Yeah, we jog our minutes in between up here. But can you give an example for the listeners? Because I don't think that's safe for listeners jumping straight into that workout. Like what could be like a stepping stone?
Well, it's 6K worth of work. We just shorten the reps. So rather than starting at a 1200, you might just go 1K, 800, 600, 400, and then you might just skip the second 400 and then just go 600, 800, 1K.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Croaks, do you want to intro the next segment and I will get our guest organised while you do that?
Yeah, no worries. So this segment is brought to you by the 2022 Keeza Great Ocean Road Running Festival. Take on Australia's most stunning running event this 14th and 15th of May. So before we introduce our guests, there's just a couple of announcements to be made because it's our last week of plugging the event. But you need to register before 11:59 p.m. on April the 5th to receive your race package in the post. Otherwise, you'll need to collect your race pack in person. If you register before that time, you'll also get your personalised race bib, and you'll beat the price rises. So the price is going to increase after the 5th of April. So, get your entries in as soon as possible. Now, Brady, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah, well, this week, thanks to the Great Ocean Road Running Festival, we've got Calli Thackery, who's going to be joining us. She's had a bit of success there over the years. She won the 14K last year and then backed up the day after to come second in the half marathon. So in my opinion, that's actually more impressive than winning the full marathon. Bradley, not sure what your opinion is there, but I'm sure Moose would fully agree with me. Her PBs recently ran a 5K PB, 15:26. 10K, I hope I got this right, 34:30 and 72 minutes for the half marathon. So welcome to the Inside Running Podcast, Calli.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thanks for giving up some time tonight. And our listeners, I'm sure they would have heard your name because we kind of have talked about you a couple of times, recapping results. I know in this episode alone, talking about your 1500 at Box Hill Classic last week. But do you want to give the listeners they might have just heard the accent there, who you are, what the story is, and what you're doing in Australia?
Yeah, sure. I'm from the UK. I came over here about 2.5 years ago. It was just really random why I came, to be honest. I came with my sister initially. I was going to come for like 5 months. But yeah, COVID happened and I just ended up staying. And now I'm not sad about it. So it's good. It's been really good. And I'm based here in Melbourne with the MTC. So it's been a good few years training with those guys.
And what's your favourite distance? Like, is it the 5K or the shorter stuff? Like, I know you spent some time over at college and raced some shorter distances over there as well.
Yeah, so I went to university in the States in New Mexico. I mainly I started focusing on the 15, but then soon realised that I was going to be better at the longer distances. So I moved up to the 5,000 metres. And then... yeah, everyone was like, you're definitely going to be a 10K/marathon runner for sure. But I just didn't want to accept it. That was back then. I just really like any of the speedy stuff. But I think my training and everything shows that I'm going to be like more endurance, like an endurance-based athlete for sure.
And is it true? I could have this completely wrong. But is your dad, was he like a 2:12 marathon runner? Is that correct?
Yeah. Literally before I came to Melbourne, I text Nick Purdue, and I was like, Nick, I sent him my bio. Honestly, it must have been like a whole bio of what I did in America and all of this. And then he just replied and was like, are you related to Carl? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's my dad. I'm thinking, thanks, Dad. Like, thanks. But yeah, he did a lot of good endurance, like marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, like across the field really. Did some good times for sure.
Yeah, he just finished, the story I heard, and this could be completely wrong as well, but did he just finish behind Mona at like one of the world champs? Like I'm talking like 2 or 3 seconds behind him, pretty close.
Yeah, it was such a good race. And that's the crazy thing, what I'll get onto as well with the Great Ocean Road race. Because when I was doing the 14K, I have a bit of a good story about it, to be honest. So I was running with a middle-aged man and then this like Ironman type guy. So I was like running with 2 guys and I was pretty comfortable, but they were pushing it. They were really pushing it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've actually got a race tomorrow for the half marathon as well. Like I should be taking this a bit easier. But so the middle-aged guy didn't know who he was at this point. And he was like, stick on to us, you'll be fine. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've committed now, I'm doing it. Anyway, like we finished pretty much together, like, and then at the end of the race, Steve Deneen, an osteopath, like he was like, Calli, do you know who that was who you were running with in that whole race? And I was like, no, who was it? And he was like, that was Steve Monaghetti, who like, and then we looked it up and yeah, sure enough, like they came within 3 seconds of each other in the World Half Marathon in 1993, fighting for gold medal. So that, yeah, Steve got silver and my dad got bronze. So how crazy, like all those years later, I'm running with him.
That is a good story.
That's a great story. Here you are on the same roads in Apollo Bay. Great.
I tell you what, you really looked after Monaco. He's an elderly man, not a
You know what? He looks great in the race. I was like, wow, this guy's good. Like, he's got a good form still. He would have
had the Nike Elite kit on too, wouldn't he? Like, he often still gets that and wears it.
Yeah, he looks elite.
Yeah, that's it. Well, tell us about your experiences down the Great Ocean Road. Like, obviously, that's a big weekend, you know, when you nearly pulled off the double last year, the first and the second. But, give us some recaps.
I should have took it, like I said, I should have gone a bit easier on the 14Ks. But it's hard to say. It's hard to do that. In my head, I'm like, I'll just have a really good, hard training weekend. And I'll just, like take it semi-easy on the 14K and then hope that I can push it for the full, like, the half. But no, like, I got carried away and, like, but I still felt pretty good in the half, like, but there was, I was pushed along in the half for sure. And
who won the half?
Yeah, was it Maddie? I'm really bad with names.
Oh, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie Hills, Maddie Heiner.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh well, that's a pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And she just ran it really smart. Like, I just went for it from the get go. I was like, oh, might as well just go. Like, and then because you're running with guys, you do just get pulled along with everyone in the race. And she was just like, cruising along and then pushed through in the last half of the race, I would say. But yeah, and the hills there are not forgiving. Like, it's the most scenic place you can run for sure. Like, it's incredible. But you kind of like, the hills aren't forgiving, but yeah, you kind of don't care because of the views. But
is that in both the events? Is the 14K quite hilly as well? So do you have any tips for people that are doing the 14K and tips for people that are doing the half?
You know what? The 14K, I don't remember it being too hilly. I don't. I remember it being like a lot more flat. Like, definitely the main hills are on the half marathon, but don't let it scare you. The hills are worth it. They're actually like, you'll see. It's just, the scenes are incredible, and they shut the whole, like, the main road. So, like, there's no, like, better time to do it, to, like, experience the Great Ocean Road when the whole roads are closed off and you can really take it in.
And you're doing the double again this year?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what the competition's like? Any whispers getting around?
I'm not sure. I did talk to my teammates today. Sinead was asking. She was like, "Oh, when's that again?" I was like, "Oh, what's Sinead?
Yeah, give her the wrong date.
Get some good competition."
$2 down there up for grabs, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the prize money is always good. And how does it stack up against the other, like, fun runs, road races you've done in Australia? I think you've gone to Tassie a couple of times, maybe Launceston, and run the bridge down there.
Yeah, you know, it's easily one of the best. Just because I fell in love with Melbourne over I will always be biased because this has become home, and the Great Ocean Road is like the most iconic place, isn't it, here? So yeah, I do enjoy it. The Tassie races are great as well. Like, some good, very well established road races there for sure. But
this one's got it covered for views, I'm sure, though.
Yes, definitely.
And then the listeners who have heard you tonight for the first time, like, any more upcoming races they can keep an eye out for results this year?
I actually have national championships coming up on Saturday night. I'm racing the 5,000 meters there, so that'll be a good race. I'm hoping it's a fast, honest race, because you never know with nationals. Like, it can be quite tactical, but I'm sure with the likes of Jess Hall and Izzy and Rose and people, it'll be a good race.
And you think you can take a bit more, because was that 15:26 recently? That was a bit of time off your PB. Do you think you can take a bit more?
Yeah, so I did that with I did a full marathon week the week before. I was actually going to be doing the marathon trials in the UK on the 3rd of April. The Manchester Marathon. So I was signed up for that. But in the end, there was just too many unknowns with it. As you know, like with the marathon, there's many unknowns anyway, because I've never done one. The most I've ever raced is a half marathon. So, and also it's my own fault with the visa, and my passport's expired. I'm not the most organised person and the best of days. So there was just too many unknowns. So I was like, you know what? I ran that time and I was like, wait, that's actually the Commonwealth Games standard in the UK. So I was looking up what I need to do next, and I feel like now I just need to show form for the next few weeks and months, and I hope that I get picked. But I would say a few girls in the UK can do that time, 15-20 range. So I'm just hoping, I can do something a bit more special and try and, hopefully get picked for a team. Because this year's the year to get picked, because there's the Europeans, the Commonwealth Games and World Champs. So there's 9 spots.
Yeah, how good's that? That's great.
Yeah.
So then, hopefully it's a fast race Saturday night and you can run a 15-15, 15-10, something like that.
Yeah, and that would be amazing, yeah. So I'm actually going to taper for this one.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can, pull out a fast time for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, massive thanks for your time tonight. Croaks, anything else you need to tell us before we wrap up this segment?
Just thanks for your time. And this segment is brought to you by the 2022 Keys Great Ocean Road Running Festival. Take on Australia's most stunning running event this 14th and 15th of May.
Yeah, get the entries in. Personalised bibs. Personalised bibs are always good. What would you get written on yours, Moose? Big Moose?
Won this 4 times before.
Yeah, it's
Going
King.
for 5.
Maybe just King. K-I-N-G.
As it is the last week of this segment, Moose, have you got any more tips? Seeing you're the king down there, give the listeners one more.
One more tip.
One more to go out on.
Forget your watch.
Oh,
Forget your watch.
Yes, I'm for that.
I like that on that course.
Calli knows. She's a queen down there.
Yeah. Definitely don't. You don't need your watch.
No.
Splits
Just keep it simple.
Splits
Just
aren't
bring your
important on that
runners.
course.
They're not. It's about winning dollars, isn't it, Calli?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Thanks, guys. Moose on the Loose. Purchase of the week. Rules of Strava.
What have I got here? What have I got
You're
here?
going to get us cancelled.
Oh, boy.
Hey, did you see, what about the, did you see that Will Smith go off today?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I got home and I'm like, what is this tweeting about?
Yeah, I
Will
couldn't
Smith?
work it out either. It must have just been just when school finished, I reckon, like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. It's interesting because then I saw video footage of the joke being told and they flashed to him and he was laughing
Yeah.
and his wife wasn't. And then he obviously must have looked over and been like, oh, shit, this is bad. Like, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to defend her and then give a slap. And comedians, like, obviously no one likes to get made fun of. Bit hard when it's like a physical like condition like that, isn't it?
Oh,
Can't really make.
You can't go around hitting people.
You can't do that either.
I'm literally saying that to Hudson every second day. I'm like, we do not hit. Like, that's a real... what you're trying to parent your kids to do. How many times do you talk about that at school, Brad? Whatever happens, you don't start throwing punches. There's going to be kids belting kids everywhere tomorrow after they watch Will Smith do it.
You don't think there's like a nice little hand-to-hand combat can sort an issue out quickly?
Yeah, talk shit, get hit.
Yeah. I used to get in a lot of fights at high school.
No, as if you got in any fights.
This one wasn't a fight because Chris Rock didn't know what was happening.
Chris Rock was
That's
kind of
right,
just, he was
yeah.
kind of just doing
He
his
didn't know it was a
job.
fight.
Bit of a sucker punch, wasn't it?
He didn't know what, he recovered well though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Do you think so? I thought he said, like, it sounded a bit, it sounded awkward.
The
Like,
first 10, 15 seconds he wasn't, and then he pulled it in real well, I thought.
he should have made a real funny joke. Like, the best joke that I saw today was Will Smith about to get sent out to Bel Air or something. Sent out to his uncle and aunts in Bel Air, because he's in trouble.
Yeah,
Got in.
Petite Advocate, wasn't it? They did something like that.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I don't know. I definitely didn't.
Anyway,
make that up.
I've gone off track. I'm not sure why I brought that sort of story out for Moose on the Loose, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have much to go on. Like, I've been too busy for this stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I've got a funny one. I might have said this. Like, I was out paddling the other day, of course, because that's what I do now, Brad. And there was a surf ski out there. I'll tell you about that. Like, we're in the middle of the ocean. Like, there's no one, we're a K offshore. And a surf ski, and I'm like, oh, this bloke, he's going to, like, appreciate seeing someone out there. So I, like, look up. I'm about to say g'day. He looks at me, doesn't smile, doesn't say hello, doesn't do anything, keeps paddling. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? This is like being on a trail in the bush on a single track and having someone like run past you deep in the forest and then totally ignoring you. I thought, gee, this is like, I feel like this is not cool, right? We're humans out in the ocean. You got to say hello.
Strange behaviour.
So, like, this one of the things, like, if you haven't listened for a long time, I think my first ever moose on the loose was people who didn't say hello when you ran past, or like people who didn't smile or nod. And I get it. You're at the tan in Melbourne. You're not saying hello to people you run past. That's just a given. But other areas, other places that you go, like pretty much anywhere that's not the tan in Melbourne, say good day. Have a smile.
Just
say
a
good
smile.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, like
maybe there's some rivalry moves between like the people on the skis and just and boards.
I haven't entered the world enough yet. I'm still just like an outsider, just do my own thing. But look, I'm there for the prone paddlers. You got a new member. You got a new fighter.
Maybe you're like, so maybe they're like the runner and you're the guy that's out walking with some walking poles.
I'm the Nordic walker.
Yeah, and so do you say hello to those people?
Mate, I'm the full-on trail runner. I'm the trail runner with calf sleeves and a bladder, and like I'm hardcore. I'm out there like in the wild. Those guys are on a bike.
What about this one? When you're like on a kind of medium busy trail bike path for a Echuca, you're coming from behind. The person in front of you has got headphones on. You go past them without startling them. It's all good. But then do you turn back to acknowledge them?
Nah, you just put what you do. I've
put a bit of a hand out, bit of a flick of the wrist,
like a wave.
Yeah,
like, acknowledge.
It's a bit creepy, isn't it? If you turn around and be like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" I'm actually doing it here. Yeah,
don't turn around. You can't. Not when you look like you as well.
Exactly, scaring people that hour in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just do a little wave.
What about the ones that aren't wearing headphones and you run past and still get startled and you're on a trail? Like surely they've heard you coming.
Oh no, it's still especially your pace through Mulligans. Someone hooks past you going 3:35 pace. Had startled me a bit from behind. You feel bad when you startle people too, don't you? Because you're like, it's coming and there's nothing you can do.
It startles me then because they jump and I'm like, I should be jumping.
I used to pretend I was coughing, like pre-COVID. You just like have a bit of a cough when you're about 15, 20 metres back. But now that freaks people out as well because they think you passing on the spicy cough.
I'm a loud stepper, so people can hear me coming a while back. But you're right, when they've got their headphones in and it's a pretty like narrow path, I'll shout out. I'll just say, hey, run it back or something like that. Trail back's a good one. But then you still scare them because you're saying trail, you're like yelling at them, and they're listening. They're engrossed in a probably inside running podcast. Maybe inside jogging podcast. That was
track.
I had this guy yesterday. I was going over the old bridge, and it's like two people abreast, and he was walking towards me in the middle of the path, and there's nowhere to go because you've just got rails either side because you're going over a bridge. And he was just heading his phone, and I'm looking at him like 50 metres, 30 metres, 20 metres, and I'm like, and he must have been sending a real good text message or looking at some memes or something because he had a bit of a gig, like a bit of a smirk on his face. And then I got to like 15, 10 metres, and I'm just like, mate! And he's looked up and he's like, oh, like in a world of his own. And didn't know what
hold your line. You've got to hold your line on them.
I think Jeff Risley said the other day on his Instagram, he ran through someone, wouldn't move over, and just went through him at 3 minute pace.
You got stay left. We grow up in Australia. We know the rules.
I don't know if you can just run through people.
Not if we get in the lake in Ballarat. If someone's walking across, they'll walk 4 abreast, and it gives you no room. Right, you're running through that. You're making them move. This is physics. I'm not very good at math or physics or whatever, but I know if I'm running at 20k an hour and they're walking at 6k an hour, I know what's going to happen. I know who's got the advantage there. So they're the ones that will move. Like their intuition, their subconscious will work this out pretty quick and go, whoop, I better move here. And then the rest of the group will say, yeah, you're right, get the fuck over. But they won't really. They'll go back to walking 4 abreast until the next person comes past. Then they go back to 4 abreast and the next person comes past. It's like, do we need to right on the ground, stay left? Like, I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's remind people.
Remind
people.
We've got the lines on our bike path where we do park run.
Good. I like
lines
that.
go down the middle of the path.
Yeah.
But no
I like
arrows.
that.
So, some really simple people just can't get it, which side they're meant to be on.
Well, we're on the Great Ocean Road. We get a lot of overseas visitors, and there's signs the whole way along that say "drive on the left" in Australia, or "drive on the left." I'm like, when they put them up, I was thinking, are you fucking kidding? Have we just paid for signs to tell us to drive on the left? That seems absolutely ridiculous. Until one day I was driving in the US and it was early morning and I spent about 10 minutes on the wrong side of the road.
Until someone ends up in the dree.
Like, oh shit, they should have some signs up here, stay right.
Well, we got there then for a bit of a moose on the loose.
We could do throwbacks. I should go back.
Throwbacks. There'd be a lot of listeners that haven't heard the early shows.
That was when I was good at running. They should definitely go back and remind themselves how good I was at running back then.
Well, you weren't that good when we started. Your PB was 2:24 before we started this show.
I was the slowest out of all three of you down the
No.
best
So when we started this show, Moose had Moose had run sub 220 in
Berlin.
Berlin.
Road to nowhere, it was 2:24. Road to not nowhere, road to Berlin.
Road to Berlin.
Yeah. I did a podcast interview yesterday, of a UK podcast actually, and I was explaining that if you want to listen to Moose go from 2:24 to 2:14, you can do it. It's pretty amazing that you can do that.
Mate, the blueprint's there for people.
Listen from March 2018 to August 2018. That's when I was the number one marathoner on the podcast.
Wait, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did 2:18, he did 2:17.
Yeah, okay. You were going all right then too. You were looking like you were going to get quicker.
Went to Christchurch, won Christchurch.
Then you wore that backpack that day.
Fucking backpack.
Remember, nearly beat Betty Saint at Sydney 10. Come in the stadium with him.
Yeah, that was a good race too.
That
was probably your best race. That was your best race. You beat some good runners that day.
Who'd you beat, Brad? Tom Buchanan?
I don't know. Who else was in that one? Ed Goddard?
Roger. Ed Goddard. No,
Rogues beat me. Rogues was second. It was Benny Saint, Rogues, then me.
Remember the day I got touched up by Rogues at that Albury run?
Oh, yeah.
That was fucked.
What was that one?
Because you already spent your prize money. You thought you had
that's right. Pub to pub or something in Albury.
Then this fucker shows up wearing a Paul Brooks kit, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? You've never seen him before.
Was that on this? Do we record? Yeah, that would have been early days as well.
Yeah, for sure it would have been. And then he ended up dusting me about the 8K mark, and I was like, this is fucked. I drove to Albury for fucking petty cash. It was a long way.
Rightio. What's coming up, Brad? National champs. Give us some names. People in action.
Yeah, so we've got the 5K start list here. So Stewie's on the list, Ramsden, Rayner, McEntee, Jack Bruce, Isaac, Hayne, Ben Buckingham, Matt Clark, Jude Thomas, Andre Waring, Riley Cox, Adrian Potter, Louis. So that's in the men's. Women, Jess Hull, Rose Davies, Jenny Blundell, Carly Thackery, Caitlin Adams, Eloise, Nat Rule, Lauren Ryan, Izzy Bat Doyle. Yeah, so...
was that race of the meet?
Good fields in the men's and women's. So they're on Saturday night, the 5K races.
When's the 800 on?
I don't know. Don't have the timetable.
That'd be on. Charlie Hunter's back, I think. So that'd be good, seeing what he does as well. Anyway, we'll post a link if we find it. All right, what's coming up with you, Moose? What do you got happening?
This week there is not a lot actually happening for me. So what's this weekend coming up?
What will
day? Be like the 3rd or something.
Third, yeah.
I can't think of anything. There is actually something massive happening in my life, but I can't talk about it. So I'll talk about it next week.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's big, but it's not a public announcement yet.
Can we have guesses?
Nah, don't guess.
Okay.
You might get it. So I'll talk about that next week.
All right, looking forward to that. Bradley, what are you doing?
Track tomorrow, and then testing a bit of equipment. It was like Christmas this afternoon when I got home from work. Some New Balance shoes and some Lululemon gear.
Yes.
New Balance shoes?
Yep, New Balance shoes and Lululemon gear. So I was looking forward to wearing both of those.
How good was the Lululemon gear? That was a great
mate, that showed up today. Woo.
Pretty good.
I didn't realise we were getting that much stuff either.
Yeah.
That is some quality kit.
I know.
It is quality, isn't it?
It's always been too expensive for me to buy Lululemon, and now I'm just like, oh my God, they're sponsoring the podcast. This is great.
Yeah.
How times change, eh? That's it, fellas. No interview this week. Or actually, might have one from Luke. No, Luke Matthews has got one for me next week. It was a bit touch and go if it was going to make air this week, but it'll be on next week. So
just on that one he did with Josh Kerr, very good.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So I've told him to give me at least one a month. And he's got some good access, and he's a knowledgeable guy. So I know a lot of listeners enjoyed that, so you're going to hear more of Luke going forward. And thank you to our Patreon supporters who make that possible.
Yeah, no, they're good. He's good,
well researched.
Got a bit of empathy about him, because he knows where it is, and he's just a fat jogger like everyone else.
Yeah, and it's an interesting job for him because he's been and probably has ambitions to get back to that level, but he's got to shift all the attention to the person who he's interviewing. And some people wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That's episode
good
number
luck,
230.
Good luck, Brady, for the
Thanks,
weekend.
folks. What do you reckon? What position you want me to come?
Oh, well, you can't.
Third.
You can't
Come
focus
third.
on position. You
Can't come third.
control.
Two of my
you
training
can't
partners
necessarily
are gonna be
control
further.
that.
True. What pace do you reckon I can average for 14k?
Well, I don't know what the course is like.
Couple of hills. Just some good down though.
Just don't bank time early. Just run it even.
Yeah, I think you have to on this course. What's the pass mark, you reckon? What K pace?
Third place.
Third place. I've done it before, Moose. Can do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you're fitter now than you were.
Yeah, true. We'll see.
You're a big dog now, you reckon? 220? 220 guy?
219, mate. 219, 53.
Oh, yeah, but most recent.
Don't forget. Oh, yeah, 220. Yeah.
220.
I'm just excited to be on the streets of Melbourne. Melbourne's a great running city. So, listeners, if you're out there, say g'day. I'll introduce you to my baby if it's post-race. See you, boys. We're done.
See ya.
This episode of the Inside Running Podcast is brought to you by Blackroll, innovation leaders for simple but effective tools that empower you to take your health and performance into your own hands. Head to blackroll.com.au to learn more about their range used by the best athletes in the world.